Good morning, children. Welcome back to chemistry class. We are in lesson 3, acid, base and salts. We already discussed what is an acid, the preparation of acid, physical properties also. Now, we are going to discuss the chemical properties. That means the reactions of the acids. Then we can see what is a base and then its preparation methods. Chemical properties of an acid. Reaction with metals. Dilute hydrochloric acid and dilute sulfuric acid react explosively with active metals like potassium, sodium and calcium. When the active metals, the reaction is very explosive. When these acids react with the moderate metals like magnesium and zinc, it is giving a corresponding salts and hydrogen gases evolved. First, the magnesium is reacting hydrochloric acid. The products are magnesium chloride and nitrogen gases evolved. And next, the iron is reacting sulfuric acid. The iron becomes a iron sulfide and the nitrogen gases evolved. Next, the nitric acid. Nitric acid is very strong oxidizing agent, so it is not used in the preparation of hydrogen. Why means when the acid was reduced, then only we can get a hydrogen gas. But these nitric acid undergo only oxidizing agent, so that we cannot get hydrogen easily. But here also some exceptions there. Magnesium and manganese can produce hydrogen with very dilute nitric acid, that is 1%. 1% means in that aqueous solution very little amount of nitric acid is present. So when the manganese is reacting nitric acid, the manganese becomes a manganese nitrate and then hydrogen gas is evolved. Reaction with base. We already know when acid reacts with base, it gives salt. It is a neutralization reaction. Here also the same thing. Basic oxides or hydroxide taking part in this reaction. Here copper oxide is reacting sulfuric acid and giving copper sulfate plus water. Next, action of dilute acids on salt. So dilute acids, when it is reacting acids and giving out water and carbon dioxide, it is a decomposition reaction. So decomposition will be taking place in the carbonates. First, calcium carbonate is reacting dilute hydrochloric acid and giving calcium chloride and water, carbon dioxide gas is evolved. The next thing, calcium hydrogen carbonate is reacting with dilute hydrochloric acid and giving out calcium chloride, 2 molecules of water and then 2 molecules of carbon dioxide gas is evolved. For in this reaction, the decomposition is taking place. Only few carbonates can take part in this reaction. If this reaction can produce insoluble salt, the reaction is not proceed. So actually we know when we are getting the salt, it is readily soluble in water. But we can get the insoluble salt means the reaction will not take place. So this reaction is impossible. Hydrogen carbonate of sodium and potassium exist only in solid state. So some of the salts, when they are reacting, it is existing in a solid state. For that solid state, the reaction will not take place because it won't produce a insoluble salt. That's why these sodium and potassium carbonates will not take place in this reaction. Here calcium only taking place in this decomposition reaction. Decomposition of sulfates. Acids reacts with sulfides and bisulfides of metals to liberate sulfur dioxide. The same reaction what happens in the carbonates and bicarbonates, that is a thing again happening to the sulfurs. Calcium sulfide reacts with hydrochloric acid and giving calcium chloride, water and sulfur dioxide gases evolving. Next, sodium bisulfate is reacting hydrochloric acid. The products are sodium chloride, water and sulfur dioxide gas. Next, decomposition of sulfides. Acid reacts with metals, sulfides to liberate hydrogen sulfide. Zinc sulfide is reacting hydrochloric acid and it is giving zinc chloride and hydrogen sulfide gas is evolving out. Then ferrous sulfide is reacting sulfuric acid and giving out ferrous sulfate and then hydrogen sulfide gas. So we have a difference. Sulfide means it has a 3 axon. Sulfide means it has a 4. Chlorides cannot react with any of the dilute acids. That means chloride salts. Generally, chlorides react with concentrated sulfuric acid on warming to liberate hydrogen chloride. When the temperature increases only, the chlorine salts reacting concentrated sulfuric acid and liberating hydrogen chloride gas. Sodium chloride is reacting concentrated sulfuric acid. The product is sodium bisulfate and then HCl gas is evolving out. Again, two molecules of sodium chloride is reacting with sulfuric acid. It is giving sodium sulfate and then two molecules of hydrogen chloride gas is evolving. See, we have a difference. One molecule sodium chloride is reacting with the concentrated sulfuric acid. It is producing sodium bisulfate. When the two molecules of sodium chloride is reacting, it is giving sodium sulfate salt. Nitrate salts do not react with dilute acids. Lead nitrate solution reacts with both dilute hydrochloric acid and dilute sulfuric acid. Because it's a exception, lead nitrate is reacting hydrochloric acid and is producing corresponding lead chloride and nitric acid. Then the lead nitrate is reacting with sulfuric acid, is giving corresponding lead sulfate salt and then nitric acid. Nitrates, when heated with concentrated sulfuric acid, produce more volatile acid. So nitric acid is more volatile in this reaction. Here, potassium nitrate is reacting sulfuric acid and giving potassium bisulfate, then nitric acid. Only few nitrates are reacting, the dilute hydrochloric and then sulfuric acid. All the nitrate salts do not undergo with the reaction on acids. Here we have a list of acids we are commonly using. Acetic acid for the use of food preservation and preparation. Food preparation also we are using to give the sour taste to the food. Other information is in this solution how much amount of vinegar is present, that equal amount of water is also present. Acetyl salicylic acid. For the painkillers and then fever relief tablets we are consuming this acetyl salicylic acid. Commonly it is known as aspirin. Ascorbic acid, antioxidant and vitamin. The vitamin C tablet is ascorbic acid present in it. Carbonic acid. In carbonic acid we know when the carbonated drinks, the soft drinks we are consuming, in that the carbonic acid is present. Other information is it is also involved in the cave formation and acid rain. Hydrochloric acid, we know it's a gastric juice and else it is used for a steel cleaner. Its other name is muriatic acid. nitric acid to make fertilizers to retain the nitrogen content in the soil. Other information is colorless yet yellow when light exposed. So it is a colorless. It turns yellow when we pass through the light on it. Next, phosphoric acid. It is used to make detergents, fertilizers, and then for make other chemicals. It is slightly sour in taste. So when we use this phosphoric acid to washing a clothes, it causes water pollution. Next, sulfuric acid. It is present in car batteries to make fertilizers also. It is a dehydrating agent. Dehydrating means to remove hydrogen in the particles. Whatever the salt or whatever the reactions, we need to remove hydrogen, we can add sulfuric acid. It causes burns. We already know acid causes burns when it affects the living organism or else non-living organism also. Bases. A base is either metallic oxide or a metallic hydroxide which reacts with hydronium ions of an acid to form salt and water only. That is the neutralization reaction. Example of basic oxides: copper oxide and magnesium hydroxide. When bases combine with acids, neutralization reaction is taking place. Examples of basic oxide. A basic oxide is a metallic oxide. It contains O2 minus ion. When the oxide is having O2 minus ion, we can say it is a basic oxide. So obviously it is acting as a base. Next, basic hydroxide. Hydroxide means it has consumed OH formula. So when this metal hydroxides, it contains OH minus ions, it is a base. Our next topic is alkalis. An alkali is a basic hydroxide which, when dissolves in water, produces hydroxyl OH minus ions as the only negatively charged ion. Here we are taking alkali sodium hydroxide in aqueous solution. When we dissolve in the water, it is giving sodium ion as well as OH minus ion. This reaction is a reversible reaction. An alkali is a base soluble in water. It turns red litmus blue. All metallic oxides and hydroxides are insoluble except potassium, sodium and calcium, slightly soluble in water. The most common soluble bases are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. These are strong bases. Calcium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide. These two are weak bases. All alkalis are bases, but all bases are not alkalis. Example, a ferric hydroxide and cupric hydroxide are bases but not alkalis because they are insoluble in water. So we can find out easily the alkali is base or not. When these alkalis will soluble in water, obviously it has a base in nature, but insoluble in water, that is not a base. We can say that is a alkali. Classification of bases. We are going to classify the bases based on its strength. Strong alkali, it undergoes almost complete dissociation in aqueous solution to produce high concentration OH minus ion. We already know when it is a base, it has to readily dissolve in water to produce OH minus ion. Here sodium hydroxide is dissolving in water to giving sodium plus ion and then OH minus ion. Weak alkali, it undergoes only partial dissociation in aqueous solution to produce a low concentration of OH minus ions. Weak alkali, the ammonium hydroxide, when it is dissolving water, it is producing ammonium ion as well as OH minus ion. But here the OH minus concentration is very low, so we can say this is a weak base. Classification of bases based on their acidity. The acidity of a base is based on the number of hydroxyl ions which can be produced per molecule of the base in aqueous solution. When the base is dissolved in the water, how many number of hydroxyl ions it is producing? Based on that, we can classifying the bases. First, monoacidic base. When it is dissociate to produce one hydroxyl ion, example sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide. Diacetic base. When these bases dissociates to produce two hydroxyl ions, examples calcium hydroxide and copper hydroxide. Triacidic base. It is a base that dissociates to produce three OH minus ions. Examples aluminum hydroxide and ferric hydroxide. Next, preparation of bases. Preparation from metals. When metals react with oxygen to give bases. Here sodium is reacting oxygen to give sodium oxide. This sodium oxide, when we dissolve the water, it becomes a sodium hydroxide base. Action of water on reactive metals. So sodium is a reactive metal. When it is reacting with water, it is producing sodium hydroxide base and then hydrogen gas is evolved. By the action of water on soluble metallic oxides. Examples sodium and potassium and calcium oxides. When potassium oxide dissolve in the water, it is giving potassium hydroxide. Only soluble oxides of metals can produce a bases. Double decomposition. Aqueous solution of salts, when it is reacting a base, it is forming precipitate as well as respective metallic hydroxides. Here ferric chloride is reacting sodium hydroxide. Ferric hydroxide has been precipitated and then it is giving sodium chloride salt. Next reaction, action of oxygen on metal sulfides. Here zinc sulfide and lead sulfide is reacting oxygen and then it becomes a zinc oxide and lead oxide and sulfur dioxide is comes out. Decomposition of salts. Here carbonate salts only decomposing. Calcium carbonate and copper carbonate both are decomposing and becomes a calcium oxide and copper oxide. Carbon dioxide gases comes out. Sodium and potassium carbonates do not decompose on heating. Only few carbonates undergo for a decomposition reaction. Other carbonates they do not undergo for this decomposition reaction. In this reaction, calcium nitrates undergo decomposition reaction. It is giving calcium oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Sodium and potassium nitrates do not give metal oxide when decomposed on heating. Only calcium nitrate undergo decomposition on heating. Next, ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide, it is simply prepared by dissolving ammonia gas in water because the nature of ammonia is readily soluble or else extremely soluble in water. When the ammonium gases passes through the water, it becomes a ammonium hydroxide. It is a weak alkali. Next we can discuss some of the physical properties of bases. Bases are taste like a bitter, feel slippery or soapy touch. That's why we are using these bases for the preparation of soaps. It also conduct electricity because when the aqueous solution it can forms ions. Rarely found in colored solution, mostly it is a colorless solution. Most do not have smell except ammonia. Yes, all the bases that doesn't give any smell, but in the case of ammonia, ammonia is giving pungent choking smell. Bases turns litmus indicator blue. It turns phenolphthalein indicator pink. These two are identification of bases. Chemical properties of bases. Strong alkalis. The bases absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to form corresponding carbonates. Here sodium hydroxide is reacting the atmospheric carbon dioxide and then it becomes a sodium carbide and water comes out. Next, the neutralization reaction. Obviously we know when the acid reacts with base it gives a salt and water. Here calcium hydroxide is reacting hydrochloric acid and forming calcium chloride salt and water. When the bases is added to the solution of the salt, so one base is reacting another salt of heavy metals to form insoluble metallic hydroxides. We already know the soluble hydroxides only acting as a base, but here we have an insoluble metallic hydroxide. It is a very weak base. Example for this, copper, iron, zinc. Copper sulfate is reacting ammonium hydroxide. It forms ammonium sulfate and then copper hydroxide has been precipitated. It's a weak in nature. When the base is dissolved in water, then only it becomes a strong base. The hydroxides of zinc, aluminium and lead being amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric means it is a dual nature. Either it may be act as acid or base. These metals can dissolve in excess of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, but other hydroxides cannot dissolve. So only these zinc, aluminium and lead can dissolve excess sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. Here zinc hydroxide is reacting sodium hydroxide when the temperature given it becomes a sodium zincoate and then water comes out. When alkalis are warmed with an ammonium salt, ammonia gas is evolved. So when the ammonium salt is reacted with the base, we can get the ammonium gas. So here ammonium chloride is reacting sodium hydroxide. It is giving sodium chloride, water and then the ammonium gas is evolved. So because of this pungent choking smell, we can easily find out ammonia gas comes out from this reaction. Here we have a uses of bases. Some of the bases is listed here. Sodium hydroxide in manufacturing of soaps, textiles, oven cleaners, sink and drain cleaners it is using. Potassium hydroxide making soap and textile industry it has been used. Magnesium hydroxide, otherwise we can call it as a milk of magnesium, and laxatives and antacids. Laxatives means it is used to reduce our constipation in our stomach, and then antacids when you feel burning in nature like a when we are taking, so it is also used as a antacid. Calcium hydroxide, lime water, it is used as a astringent. Astringent is nothing but of to use a skin cream, no, to avoid rashes, bleeding, everything. So that one we can say it as a astringent. Ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide is used as a window cleaner and in other cleaning solutions also we are using ammonium hydroxide. Ammonia to revive an unconscious person as fertilizers. For the unconscious person, like a inhaler, we can show the smell of the gas to the nose, the person will recover from the unconsciousness because the pungent choking smell of ammonia. So the person will recovering because of ammonia gas inhaling. Sodium carbonate, it is used for detergent, as well as sodium phosphate, it is also used for detergents. Test for acidity and alkalinity. In a pure water at 25 degrees Celsius, the concentration of hydronium ion and hydroxyl ion are 1.0 into 10 to the 4 minus 7 m. The value of Kw, that means the ions dissociate in water at 25 degrees Celsius, is therefore 1.0 into 10 to the 4 minus 4. Although Kw is defined in terms of the dissociation of water, this equilibrium constant expression is equally valid for solution of acid and bases dissolved in water. All the acids, bases can easily dissolve in water. Then it is dissolving, it can be split into ions. When the ions comes out, then only we can find out the acidity or basicity of the solution. While adding acid to water, the concentration of hydronium ion is increased. Here we have a pH scale. It was introduced by Danish biochemist Sorensen. In a pH, P stands for potence. The meaning in German, pH stands for power of hydrogen. So all the acid and base contains hydrogen. So we can find out the power of the hydrogen. Then only we can have acidity and basicity concentration. Measuring of pH and pOH. The pH scale is defined as the negative log of the concentration of H plus. First one, pH, to find out the concentration of acid. pH is equal to minus log H plus. To find out the power of hydrogen ion, then we can find the acidity of the given solution. The pOH scale is defined as the negative log of the concentration of OH minus ion. OH minus ion to find out the basicity of the solution. pOH is equal to minus log OH minus. With this scale, calculating the pOH can be done in the same manner as the pH scale. When we added pH plus pOH, it is equal to 14. Here we have a pH scale. The readings are between 0 to 14. From 0 to 7, the solution is acidic in nature. More than 7 to 14, it is base in nature. In middle, 7 is neutral in nature. Totally, we have a 14 points to find out the nature of the solution. Usually, we have indicators to find out acid or base. Commonly, we are using litmus paper or else phenolphthalein or methyl orange. Here we have a universal indicator. It is a mixture of various indicators like methyl red, methyl blue, bromothymol blue, thymol blue and phenolphthalein. Besides these indicators, it contains water and N-propyl alcohol. An acid-base indicator is a solution with change color in different pH range. So here this universal indicator, based on the pH range of the given solution, it can be varying color changes. Maybe the acid, if it is 0 to 7, in that 0 to 7 it can give different points, can get a different colors. Likewise the base, more than 7 to 14. So here also the points are varying, then also the color of the range varying. So in that we can easily find out the acid base as well as the concentration of the acid and the base. Next, importance of pH in everyday life. Yes, pH plays a very important role in our day life. Even chemistry also, day to day life we are using. Here, all plants and animals are sensitive towards pH. Living organism works within the narrow range of pH. Our body also works within the narrow range of pH of 7 to 7.8. If this pH range increases or decreases, living organisms find it difficult to survive. Yes, maybe it decreases, acidic level will be increased in our body, and decreases basic level. So the current level we need to maintain in our body. Plants grow properly and gives proper yield if the soil is neither acidic nor basic. Yes, actually when the soil is neutral, then only we can get a much yield. It means the pH of the soil should be equal to 7 for healthy growth of plants. Yes, the neutral land only give the healthy plants, that only very good to consume for living organism. The normal pH value of our mouth is about 6. This is because of saliva produced by glands present in our mouth. It means that medium of our mouth is slightly acidic. Yes, because it is less than 7, so our mouth is slightly acidic. All living organisms got self-defense tools as a gift from nature. Yes, all the organisms they want to protect themselves. For example, deer, buffalo, cows, etc. are long and sharp on. Lizard can change its colors. Bees are sting, etc. Yes, these are the self-defense given by nature. Honeybees are armed with chemical sting as defense tool. Honeybee contains acidic in their sting. Yes, honeybees also protecting themselves by stings the enemies. When a person is stung by honeybee, honeybee injects acid and pushes and leaves its sting in the skin. Because of acid present in sting, victim feels pain near the stung area. Area of stung gets swollen after some time. pH changes in our mouth, it causes a tooth decay. Tooth decay starts when the pH of the mouth is lower than 5.5. Actually, our pH level of the mouth is 6. When it reduces 5.5, it is damaging our tooth enamel. See here, the tooth enamel made up of calcium phosphate is the oddest substance in the body. It does not dissolve in water, but it is corroded when the pH in the mouth is below 5.5. Because of what? The pH level is very less, it is acidic. Then also the bacterial produce the acids, it is eroded by our tooth enamel. Bacteria present in the mouth produce acids by degradation of sugar and food particles remaining in the mouth after eating. The best way to prevent this is to clean the mouth after eating food using toothpaste, which are generally basic for cleaning the teeth, can neutralize the excess acid and prevent tooth decay. Why we are using base? To neutralize the acidic content in our mouth. That is a thing to prevent our tooth decay. Here is your assignment. Find out the answers from this video and write down in the classwork. For every assignment, you can follow the correct date, whatever the day you are getting a video. And side by side, you can go through the lesson. Only 15 students are registered in Google Classroom. I want everyone to register in Google Classroom. Then only I can conduct a test. So make it possible. Thank you students. Have a nice day.